Hello?
What the What is that? That was close. That's got me nervous. Let's go to the cabin.
Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Like this first encounter, shared by John. John has built a name for himself on his channel Exploration Unknown, mostly by seeking out places that most people only hear about in stories. His adventures often take him off the beaten path, to locations shrouded in mystery, folklore, and sometimes fear. And this time, together with a friend named Brian, he set his sights on Cades Cove, an isolated valley in the Tennessee section of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's a quiet place during the day, a popular stop for visitors. But once night falls, it seems to become something else entirely. The plan was simple: an overnight camping trip into a cabin that they were already known with, far from the main road, surrounded by the dense forest that stretches across the valley. But even before entering, the silence broke.
Okay, guys, we're over here. There it is again. Shh. I was seriously just got off the bike here. So hang on, let me show you. Okay, so I was literally standing right in here, looking this way, when we heard that years ago. And I shit you not, Brian and I just heard it. I am stunned. I don't know if that audio is caught on. It's further away. But it was definitely the same sound.
Dude, that's terrifying. That almost sounds like...
It sounds like the T-Rex off Jurassic Park.
Well, that and what we caught at Brushy.
Yeah, that's true. It does sound a lot like what we caught at Brushy. Come on, do it again. There's something lives close to here. And it's being disturbed when we come here at night.
That's scary.
From somewhere deep within the trees came a sound, exactly the same as John had heard before on this spot.
It's like it's warning that something's here, someone's here. Because I kid you not, guys, I'm going to drop that clip of what happened before so you can hear it. We literally heard the same exact sound just now. I'm going to drop that clip in right now. What the hell is that? That was close. That's got me nervous. Let's go to the cabin. That ain't a bear, is it?
No, that's coyotes. But they're like right there.
That's wild. That's scary.
Guys, that expression says it all.
What the hell is that? The others are howling now. I hope whatever it is back here didn't see us and start calling for help. I'm a little unnerved.
So how bad do we want to see these cabins?
Yeah, for real. The cabin's right there.
Yeah. Problem is, so is whatever that noise was.
Yeah, and Brian describes it. It does sound reptilian. And me and Brian both, one of the passions we share is we grew up in the Appalachia. We grew up in the woods. Like, that we spent our life. We've heard a lot of stuff. And I've never heard, other than this, that sound before.
No, that's wild.
So, yeah, it's gone now. It was further away this time. It was so much closer before. But I'm telling you, man, it puts you on edge. Like, you don't know what that is. And I don't know if it's something you'll see in a day or if you can see it all.
Dude, that was a reptilian call. Like,
and I don't know if it's a call for assistance, backup, or if it's a call to warn other creatures. I don't know. I mean, judging that we walked in here, left and went further and came back out and nothing bothered us the last time, hopefully it's something that moves away.
Yeah.
But
you got to remember also, you said last time it was closer to you.
yes.
And it made that sound. So it made that sound over there. It might be heading this direction.
That's what I'm hoping it's not. I want to see what it is, but I also do not want to see what it is at the same time.
Dude, like, that's, I mean, I'm convinced that's some sort of reptile.
A long, low, guttural call that echoed through the valley, deep enough to vibrate in his chest. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't coyotes. It was something that didn't belong to any animal they could name. For a while, the two quietly debated what could be making that sound, their curiosity tangled with a growing sense of unease, a silent fear that whatever was out there might decide to come closer. But eventually they gathered their courage and decided to move toward the old cabin hidden in the woods. Frost coated the roof, their breath turned to mist, and the light of their flashlights began to falter in the cold. John kept recording in case the sound would be heard again. He scanned the tree line, and something about the stillness felt wrong.
The cabin looks so harmless coming to view. Such a heavy layer of frost. I don't know if y'all can see, the stars are out bright. See a few of them up there. Yeah, it's back in this area of the woods. Like, it's funny, anywhere you see like a pathway in, look at these trees that are laid over.
Yeah.
Look at all these uprooted trees laying here. It's like whatever's back here doesn't want people.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I don't know what it is about that pathway through there.
That's,
Terrifying.
oh no.
Did your light just die?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That musky smell.
Yes, sir. And that's fresh.
There's a sandwich?
Yeah.
That's not good. This one's got an upstairs too.
Several trees were unnaturally uprooted, their trunks splintered as if something had forced its way through. The ground around them was torn up, wild boar tracks scattered through the mud, and the sharp scent of something musky lingered in the air, and it was fresh. The cabin that had once seemed like a good idea suddenly felt like the last place they should be. Whatever was out there wasn't showing itself, but it had made sure they knew it was near. And that was enough. Faced with the biting cold and the unsettling cries echoing through the trees, the two decided not to spend the night in the cabin after all. The thought of trying to sleep while something unknown circled the woods outside was enough to make them pack up and leave. As they made their way back through the darkness, the cold bit harder, and the heavy, musky scent hung in the air like a warning they couldn't ignore. No one can say for certain what stalked the edge of those woods that night, but as anyone who spent time in Cades Cove after dark will tell you, there are things out there that don't need to be seen to be real, and sometimes the forest doesn't want to be shared. So what do you think was out there in the dark? Just a wild animal, or something far stranger? Now, with that mystery lingering, we move on to the next one. But this time, it wasn't heard. It was seen. This Halloween, we're doing something we've never done before. All week long, you can complete challenges to earn points. The top scorer wins the ultimate prize. Here's how it works. Post your scariest CreepyVids moment on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Ask people to subscribe. Use the hashtag #CreepyHalloween and tag our channels with the links in the description. That's 30 points per post, 1 per day. Leave comments under CreepyVids, ScaryVids, or DeepVids videos. Up to 3 comments per video count, worth 5 points each. Invite a friend to subscribe. If they leave a comment saying, "I joined thanks to," you'll get 10 points for every new subscriber. Watch carefully for the hidden word. Each day, a letter will appear, with the final letter revealed in the October 31st Halloween special. Guess the full word and email it to us for 20 points. Join in every single day, and you'll earn a 25-point loyalty bonus. And on Halloween night, a special bonus challenge will be revealed in the CreepyVids Halloween special. And winners will be announced on November 3rd. Third place gets a CreepyVids t-shirt of your choice. Second place also gets a CreepyVids t-shirt of your choice. And the first place will get an $25 Amazon gift card plus CreepyVids t-shirt of your choice. Let's see who stayed the most active. Let the best fans win. This clip was captured in 2012 by 2 adventurers who were about to embark on a camping trip deep in the wilderness near Christmas Valley, just outside Bend, Oregon. And although little else is known about their background or what happened after, what they recorded speaks for itself.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
Get in, hurry up, get in. I'm gonna back up.
All right, he
Here
went.
we go, come on.
Yeah, back
get
up.
In. Here we go.
He went back down that way, so hurry up.
Hold on. He was huge.
I know. I've already got him on film. But I want more. I want another film of him.
Here we go. Hold on. Did you see him?
No,
Where did he go?
no, just a second. I'm gonna get out at the main road here.
Okay, get out. Hurry.
Crap! I think we lost him. No, I think we lost him. I don't see him anywhere.
The footage cuts off here, as they clearly lost the figure from sight. But looking closer, something about it stands out. The way it moves through the trees, its silhouette framed against the fading light. The shape, size, and stride bear an uncanny resemblance to descriptions of the infamous creature known as Bigfoot. The figure appears too large to be an ordinary human, yet its upright, almost deliberate way of walking is unlike that of any common animal in that area. Many who have examined the clip, including the two who witnessed it firsthand, remain convinced that what they captured was a glimpse of the legendary creature itself. Whether the adventurers decided to stay and continue their trip after this encounter remains unknown. But one thing is certain: whatever wandered through those woods that day wasn't something they, or anyone else who's seen the footage, will easily forget. So, now I'm curious, what do you think? Was it a trick of the light, a hoax, or something far more mysterious? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now that was a figure vanishing into the trees, but the next story isn't about something hiding in the woods. It's about something waiting in the dark. A YouTuber going by the name of Franco TV is known for exploring some of the most unsettling locations across the world. On his channel, Frank, the man behind the camera, documents his late-night investigations inside abandoned and haunted places, often alone, capturing what many believe to be encounters with something that lingers beyond the ordinary. On this night, the plan wasn't just to explore, it was to stay. Frank had decided to spend the night on the property, setting up to investigate whatever might reveal itself after dark. At first, the place felt almost still. The only sounds came from the faint hiss of sprinklers and the wind pushing softly through the trees. But then, as the light began to fade, something shifted. Somewhere in the distance, a woman's voice began to sing. It was faint, soft, and unsettlingly calm. The sound disappeared almost as quickly as it came, leaving behind a silence that didn't feel empty anymore.
I didn't catch this on camera, which I'm kind of upset. I was actually doing some slow motion B-roll shots, and I literally just heard someone singing, and then it just kind of dissipated. It's not even nighttime. Well, it's getting nighttime. It's dusk, but... And again, this place is open 24/7 in case those of you who are curious of knowing, so I'm allowed to explore this. But I literally heard what sounded like a woman singing, but then it just dissipated. I'm hoping to catch it again on camera.
As darkness settled in, that quiet started to fill with small, deliberate noises, knocks, shuffling, faint movement. Never loud, but enough to make every corner feel closer.
I keep hearing birds chirping that throw me off. But my God, I'm not gonna lie, but this place is amazing. Look at that. Late at night when all the world is sleeping, I stay up and think of you, and I wish on a star or somewhere you are looking for me too. You know, that song is eerily accurate for my current position right now. Oh my God, that freaked me out. The sound alone, that's another water sprinkler system. Oh, what is that? 'Cause I'm dreaming of you tonight. Wow. Oh my God. They should cover that so nobody falls in there.
Frank ventured through the graveyard, letting the silence and the cold air settle around him. For a brief moment, it felt like the night might remain uneventful. Just him, the stillness, and the weight of the atmosphere pressing in from all sides. But it didn't stay uneventful, because as he was scanning the dark corridors with night vision, Frank caught sight of something that made his pulse jump.
You can see so much more now with the night vision. It's ridiculous. Hold on. Just heard a noise. I literally just heard a noise down here. What the f? Holy crap. There's somebody legit inside the room. Holy crap.
Through the gloom, a figure sat motionless inside a room with no lights on. He hadn't seen anyone enter. No cars, no footsteps, no signs of other visitors. It felt wrong in its stillness.
Alright, so this just changed the way the video is going to be a little bit. Because, if I'm here by myself and there's nobody here, I'm not bothering anyone, I feel more comfortable kind of walking around the area and doing my investigation. Just my little exploring, you know, just looking around and stuff. But because there's someone inside that room, I have to be very careful now because I don't want to come off disrespectful recording people. I thought I was by myself here and I wasn't causing anything. But there seems to be a lady in that room. What I'm going to do is turn the camera off for now. Just kind of walk around the area. Just so that they don't feel threatened. If anything, I'll just be like, hey, I'm just taking pictures or something, you know, just whatever.
He chose not to approach at first. The figure didn't move, and the darkness seemed to swallow it whole. But when he passed by the same room later, flashlight in hand, the figure was gone.
I literally have goosebumps right now. That was insane. There was a woman literally inside this room.
The room was empty, the air heavier. It was the kind of absence that made him question whether it had ever been there at all, or whether it was still nearby. But the strangeness was only just beginning, because later that night, deeper into his stay, Frank encountered her again. Again, a woman, older, dressed in pale clothes, sitting completely still. She didn't speak or flinch. She only stared into the distance as if something unseen was holding her attention. And even when Frank cautiously called out, she only turned her head toward him with slow, deliberate movement, locking eyes but without a single word. The moment was chilling in its simplicity. No sudden lunge, no obvious threat, just silence and that unwavering stare. Frank backed away, his nerves raw from hours of listening to things he couldn't explain. He decided to keep his distance for the rest of the night, retreating to a safer spot on the property. But even then, the quiet didn't feel empty anymore. Every sound seemed closer than before. When he circled the grounds again later, the woman was gone again. Whether she had walked away into the night or had never really been there at all, he couldn't tell. What made this night so unsettling wasn't a single scream or sudden scare. It was how slow it all unfolded, layer by layer, until the line between real and imagined felt paper thin. And with that, we move on to the next encounter, one that takes us far from buildings, into the quiet of the wilderness again. This is Dan. He runs the channel called Dan Ventures Outdoors, where he documents his trips into the wild, camping, hiking, and exploring the remote corners of nature. Over time, his videos have taken viewers deep into forests, across mountains, and through places where silence is both peaceful and unnerving. Dan had camped before, but he was still fairly new to the world of wilderness adventures. A couple of months earlier, his very first solo trip had already left him shaken after a disturbing encounter. This time, he wasn't alone. He decided to bring a friend with him, hoping the experience would feel less intimidating.
Ray's just getting fire started. Cracked a beer each. He's on the Stella. I've got the Cruise Campo.
The two of them hiked deep into the forest, far from the nearest road, where they found a quiet clearing to set up camp. They built a fire, pitched their tents, cooked a simple meal, and settled into the stillness of the woods. At first, it felt calm, safe. But in the forest, peace rarely lasts.
Nights like this. Few cans, good food, good laughs.
40 minutes away from his house.
40 minutes away, yeah. So, someone keeps whistling. We've got the air rifle ready. But someone keeps whistling. See if I can catch it on camera. I've got a good shot. They're not whistling now, I don't know where they've gone. They've been shouting and whistling now, aren't they? Yeah. Well, we had a dog. Maybe.
From somewhere out in the trees came a sound that didn't belong. A whistle. Soft, human. It wasn't a bird. It wasn't the wind. Someone, or something, was out there. For a while, the forest returned silent again, but as the fire burned low and the forest grew darker, the noise returned, drifting between the trees.
Just watch something and chill out. I did hear some whistling, but I think it was someone whistling at the dog, but yeah, I think that's it. So I'm just going to chill out. And yeah, if I don't see you through the night, I'll see you in the morning. Night. I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like someone or something walking around. Hello?
Later that night, Dan awoke to the crunch of heavy footsteps moving around their camp. This wasn't an animal, the pacing, the weight of the steps. It was deliberate. It was a person.
Hello? I think it might have just been like an animal or something. Can't hear anything now. But it sounded like human footsteps. So, I hadn't heard anything more. Just been sat here watching my phone, doing a bit of editing, and I hadn't heard anything else. Must have just been an animal or something, but it definitely sounded like human footsteps. It's about 4:30 now. I try drop off again, just ignore it. Act like it never happened. Yeah.
He grabbed his flashlight and swept the beam across the tree line. Nothing, just the silhouettes of tall trees standing still in the darkness. But the feeling of being watched lingered, a weight pressing in from the shadows. Eventually, exhaustion overtook fear, and morning came with nothing more than quiet rain falling over the camp. But the question remains, was it just an animal passing through, or the same unseen figure who whistled through the forest that night? At least one thing is for sure, the forest let its secrets drift between the trees. But cabins hold their own kind of silence, the kind that listens back, and this next clip showed exactly that. Chris Baird is a channel run by Chris, who documents the kind of trips that reward patience and punish nerves. solitary nights in remote places where the quiet is never quite silent. And this time, he booked a lone cabin in the Pine Barrens, planning a straightforward overnight before an early morning in the city. He expected a little eeriness, the kind that comes with cold air and old wood, but the night kept tightening around him until the line between caution and instinct began to blur.
I came out here because I had to come to Philadelphia for business in the morning, and this is not far from Philadelphia, and I was just like, could I make something out of this trip? Could I get a video out of this trip? Could I possibly do something scary and freak myself out a little bit? And this is it. I did it. I'm here at this cabin.
The evening began quietly, almost uneventfully. Dan unpacked his gear and settled into the cabin, surrounded by the stillness of the woods. But it didn't take long for that calm to shift. A creeping unease settled in, the kind that makes every shadow feel closer than it should. At first, he tried to ignore it, convincing himself it was nothing more than nerves. Yet as faint, unfamiliar sounds began to break through the silence, that fragile sense of reassurance started to slip away. It was no longer something he could explain or brush off. And so, hoping to steady himself, Dan stepped outside to clear his head. But instead of easing the tension, the night air only made it worse.
I don't know exactly what I'm hearing out here, but I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't know what to do right now. I don't want to be back in the house. I don't want to be outside. I really don't. Holy shit. Holy shit. That was by the house. That was literally by the house. There's somebody up at the house right now. There's somebody up at the house right now. You guys hear that? The f was that? That right there is exactly why I don't want to go to the house. Holy shit. Holy shit. I was walking on the fucking dock. This shit. I'm so fucking done with this place.
What Dan didn't realize at that moment, and perhaps it was better that way, was that just as the strange noises began, a shadowy figure had darted past or inside the cabin, and as more sounds emerged from the dock behind him, slow and deliberate, like footsteps on damp wood while there was no one. He chose to head back inside, straight toward the very spot where, without knowing it, he had already captured a figure on camera. Strangely enough, or maybe mercifully, the cabin itself was empty. But still, the unease Dan already felt made him quietly rethink his decision to stay the night. But after a few moments of hesitation, unsure whether to leave or stay, Dan ultimately decided to remain. It was late, and a long day awaited him in the morning. The rest of the night passed uneventfully, at least to him. A light flickered on in the dark hours, but it wasn't enough to wake him. Looking back, though, he would only feel regret for not leaving when he had the chance. And now the question remains, what exactly did he capture that night? Was it something unnatural, an unseen presence moving through the shadows and triggering that light? Or was there another, more rational explanation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That was a night wrapped in quiet tension, but this last adventure takes us deeper into the woods, where legends breathe. This is Sunny, known for chasing the kind of stories that live between legend and fear. On his channel, Sunny Deeds, he documents late-night explorations into places most people would never wander into after dark. But this time, it wasn't just any location. Alongside his friend CJ, Sunny set out on a long overnight trip to a remote patch of woods in Ohio, a place locals have come to call Hell's Corner. The name alone carries weight. The stories that surround it are older than the two explorers combined. Whispers of a Native American boy killed near the tree line decades ago, hangings said to have taken place on the thick, low branches, and strange sightings that continue to keep locals away after sunset. That was exactly why Sonny and CJ were here. To set up camp, to spend the night, and to find out whether the rumors were just stories or something more.
CJ's gonna start walking up a little bit ahead there. So let me go ahead and get everything set up.
The woods greeted them with the kind of damp silence that swallows sound. Their boots sank into wet ground, spiderwebs clung to their jackets, and the chill clung heavier as night wrapped itself around the forest. For a while, it felt like any other nighttime exploration. Just two friends moving deeper into the trees with nothing but flashlights and the crunch of twigs beneath their feet. But the feeling didn't last.
What is that? CJ, where you at?
There's something over this right here. I don't know what the hell that was, dude.
What happened?
I thought it was you that grabbed my jacket.
No,
But it felt like something grabbed me from over here.
Without warning, something tugged at CJ's jacket from behind. He spun around, expecting Sonny, but there was no one there. The air hung still, the trees unmoving. It wasn't a branch or a thorn. Whatever had touched him felt deliberate. But they went on, and the deeper they went, the more the forest began to feel alive.
Like a teepee? Yeah, I can see that.
Almost looks like one. That's so weird, dude. Like, we are literally right now here in the middle of the night. And oh, shit! Hi, what the hell was that? What the shit was that?
Something just hit a tree, dude. And look, we're right in front of where that little frickin' teepee-like formation is.
Absolutely 110% creepy, dude.
A sharp crack echoed from somewhere ahead, not the slow fall of a branch, but something that struck hard against a tree.
Damn tree branch snapped off the tree. Or some shit, but...
Something smacked the frickin' tree, or there was... Dude, I wonder if it was...
Oh, dude, if we see something hanging...
anything over our frickin' head. It was kind of thick in there.
It sounded like somebody was walking right dead in front of me. Like 20 feet away, I swear. Oh, dude, that's weird. Sonny, that is legitimately weird.
Footsteps followed, pacing just far enough to blur into the night. Both men paused, flashlights sweeping the darkness, but nothing moved. It was the kind of moment that sits heavy in your chest when the forest feels like it's breathing with you. But still, they pressed on.
Look at all this like crazy trees that are like knocked down and cut up, and like they've fallen over naturally. Obviously, you can see that through the woods. It's like legit. It's like 3:17 in the morning right now, and I'm frozen, dude.
Yeah, it is kind of chilly out here.
Oh gosh, damn, dude.
It is kind of... Dude.
What?
I just caught something out of the corner of my eye over here in between, right in between those trees. There was like a shadow.
What the hell, dude? What the fuck, man? Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck?
What happened?
I literally felt like I got, like, kicked from behind. Like, drop kicked from fucking behind.
Dude, right in between, there was I saw something that caught my eye that went over in between them trees, right over beside where you were.
I don't like this, dude. This is way too far, dude.
A shadow slipped between the trees. Just a flicker at the edge of Sonny's vision, but enough to spike the cold in the air. And then, almost at the same time, he felt a sharp pressure on the back of his leg. A sudden push that sent his heartbeat racing. This wasn't the slow, creeping kind of unease. It was fast, primal, the kind of fear that makes every instinct scream at you to run. The woods didn't feel empty anymore. Something was out there with them. At one point, CJ caught movement too. Between two trees, a dark figure shifted and disappeared before either of them could get a clear look. Whatever it was, it seemed to circle them just out of sight, its presence carried only by the snap of twigs and the weight of silence. Hours passed. By the time the night dragged toward early morning, the unease had deepened into something that neither of them could laugh off. They had come to Hell's Corner expecting a story, maybe even proof of the place's dark past. But what they found was something much harder to define. A presence they couldn't see, but could feel. A push they couldn't explain. And a night that refused to let them feel alone. Whether it was the echoes of history, a trespasser, or something else entirely, Sonny and CJ left Hell's Corner with more questions than answers. But as they made their way out, neither could shake the feeling that something had been following, not close enough to see, but close enough to know. The forest stayed silent, but it wasn't empty. Maybe what they encountered was tied to the stories whispered for generations. Or maybe some places are just better left alone. Either way, that night at Hell's Corner left a mark to them. Not in what they captured, but in what they felt. That cold, watchful presence that doesn't need to be seen to be real. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.